happy for him, and it was we had to have that play today. It was awesome.
I think I heard the word love about 5 times.
Yeah.
Coach really loves his players. Hey,
Yes.
You know what? The Rams, I feel like every year they kind of sneak up on people. They're 3-1. Their only loss to the undefeated Eagles. How high do you see their ceiling?
They're one of the better teams in the NFC. When you think about, we talked about, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of those teams. They've only lost to the Eagles. The Rams lose to the Eagles on a block kick. I mean, the Rams are lining up to.
True, they had that.
So it's not like they have to hide and say we're not. And they play complementary football. Defensively, they don't get enough credit for how good they are on defense. And Matthew Stafford, obviously, with the ball in his hand, with the last possession of the game to win a game, he can win it.
Yeah.
Because he's that kind of quarterback. And they have enough guys on offense, they can score the ball. So this is a dangerous team. The Rams and the Bucs are dangerous. If you're the Eagles, and the Eagles are supposed to be the best team right now, and they are, they're 4-0, they're looking at those guys and say, this is a close game.
Yeah.
Right?
High praise. They're right behind you,
Yes.
and they're doing good. People overlook them, but they are a good team, those Rams. All right. This is new on SportsCenter. John Harbaugh, heartbreaking loss to fall to 1-3 against the Chiefs. He's speaking now to the media. And again, new on SportsCenter.
All right. Congrats to the Chiefs. I thought they played really well. Executed both sides of the ball, played good physical football, and won a football game handily, all 3 phases. I feel like they coached better, they played better, everything was better. So that's it. That's a game in the National Football League, and we'll have to go back to work, figure out how to try to win our next football game. And we've got issues that we're dealing with, and we got to deal with them in a real smart way and find out how to line up and play our best game against the Texans. That's going to be our task this week. And I know our guys will go to work. I know our coaches will go to work to do that, and that'll be our challenge. So any other questions or any other conversations about it are going to be just that. We've got to get to work and get ready to play a football game and play well and try to find a way to win a game and get on track. I believe we're going to be a good football team. We're just not a good enough football team yet. And all the things that go with that are the challenges that you face in the National Football League when you get circumstances that we've had. So that's what we'll go to work on. What questions you have?
John, one left the game with the hamstring injury. Do you know the seriousness of that?
No, I don't. I don't have any really updates on seriousness of injuries right now. There's nothing that looks like it's season-ending by any stretch for anybody, any of those guys. But we'll have to look at those injuries tomorrow and see where we're at going forward.
Coach, I know you're not going to make excuses, but you down 4 starters to begin with on the defensive side, lost 3 more. Just talk about the impact of losing that many starters.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about with the challenges. I mean, those are the challenges that you do face from time to time, and it's tough in a game like this against a really good team on the road. But you got to try to find a way to win anyway. And we never made excuses for those kind of things. And the guys who are up there are going to play well, and we've got to find ways to put our guys in the best positions to execute, play after play, and play a winning football game. That'll be our challenge.
Could Lamar have come back in had it not been a 3-score deficit?
I really don't have the answer to that right now. Yeah.
Do you know what play
I don't have the answer for that, no.
John, can you think of a time when you have been this adversely impacted by injuries in a single game?
I haven't really thought about that. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that this is our circumstance right now. This is what we're going to have to deal with. Like I told the guys before, and I told the guys after the game, I respect our guys. I respect our players. I respect our coaches. I know that we're going to go to work, and there's football to be played, and there's a division to be won, and we've got to find a way to become good enough to win it, So it's a long season, and but short term, it's a challenge right now. Our focus is on the Houston Texans game. That's what we've got to get locked in for, really, and find a way to play the kind of football game that we're going to need to play to win.
What do you think happened offensively?
All right. Andy Reid now stepping up to the podium to address his Chiefs and their win.
All right. I don't have a whole lot to tell you about the injury part of it. I think we came out fairly clean there. My hat goes off to our fans for the job they did today, man. They were unbelievable, loud, aggressive, and we appreciate all that. Also to the Ravens and John, he's got a team that's a little bit banged up right now, and he's battling through that. But put up a great fight today, and I'm glad things worked out, obviously, the way they did. I was proud of our big guys on both sides of the ball. I thought they played well, and they knew coming into this game here that it's always going to be physical. Doesn't matter who's playing on either side, but it's going to be a physical game, and I thought our guys stepped up and came through in that area. Pat had a big day. Good to get Worthy back in there in the mix. He had a big day. Kels, likewise. And Pat hit a bunch of different receivers, which I think was a positive, and the run game got going, with Pacheco. So all in all, a good day offensively, and then defensively, I thought right from the get-go, after that first drive, that we just put our foot down. Spags had a nice plan there, and the guys executed. It was great to get Chris back. His aunt died, and it was good to get him back here, most of all to celebrate her life, and then work his way back, wanting to be here with his teammates. Leo interception was incredible. Just as being a football fan, that was an incredible play. I'm proud of him and the job that he did. And then holding Derek to the yards that we did, he's a beast, and we were able to take care of him there. So, and then special teams, I thought all the way around, special teams was good. Butt missed a 56-yarder, but that's 56 yards, So we've gotten spoiled, but he's fine, and we'll get right back in the swing there. He did with the last two. So I think I hit everybody. So time's yours.
Andy, a lot of things made the offense go better, but I wonder if you could elaborate a little bit on Worthy and what his presence does to change the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, well, I thought Matt used him the right way, and put him in great positions, and then Worthy didn't flinch at all. People were worried about the shoulder and so on, but he right from the start he gets the first play and goes, and that's the way he's approached his rehab and everything else, and I'm glad he came out, healthy. But I thought the way Nags used him was smart job.
It seemed like Patrick was especially in the zone today, I guess, for lack of better terms. What do you think led to that?
Yeah, I think having all those guys there that helps. I mean, you start getting guys back in there and mixing it up. I thought the offensive line protected him, well for the most part. So he feels good.
Andy, go ahead.
I was going to say, were you confident Chris was going to be here in time, and I guess it came down pretty close?
Yeah, it was close. I mean, listen, he had to do what he had to do there. I mean, that's not something you plan on or anything else. So you take care of that first, and then the game kind of comes secondary, when you start dealing with life and death.
Andy, just look, made it.
Lawrence. Well, Fred Warner first, actually. Then we'll get to Trevor.
Yeah, short-term memory. I mean, I think you got to obviously, you can't just put it, you got to put it behind you, but you need to learn from why did we lose this game. I mean, it's pretty obvious that you're not going to win a game if you're 4-0 in the turnover battle, special teams touchdowns. We got to play better. We didn't play good today. Our run defense was horrible. If we just played even a little bit better than what that was, let's say we were 2-0 in the turnover battle, maybe we win that game, which is still – credit to everybody in that locker room, the fact that we have fighters to continue to fight and, still be in a game down 5, but that's not winning football at all, right? So we got to find ways to take the ball away, take care of it, clean things up on all 3 phases, and we'll give ourselves plenty of chances to win going forward.
So he's frustrated. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence, not at all happy with the win. Now he's speaking. It's new on SportsCenter.
Fired up. I mean, just his passion, I think, has been awesome to see. His players brought a lot of energy to our team. The way that he talks, the way he speaks, and then the way that he just lives it and acts every day. I mean, you can tell he loves what he does. He cares a lot about it. Cares about us as players. So I think that shows. He puts a lot of work in. So, but he's like that every week. Honestly, I wouldn't say there was necessarily more than normal, but it's a good football team that we beat today. So we're all pretty fired up after getting that win.
You guys upset with players, or?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You use everything you can, right? And if they're going to give you free fuel, you take it. So that's something that you always do. But at the end of the day, you got to go play the game. That stuff doesn't really matter. You got to go take care of business and execute. And find a way to win the game, which we did today. So it feels great. But you try to use anything you can for sure as motivation.
This is the most rushing attempts you've had since, I think, week 1 of 2023. Is there anything that this defense gave? What led you to scramble so much?
It's a good defense. It's really sound. I think in their zone coverages, they're really good. They take away a lot of things, especially on third down. They do a good job of dropping to certain spots, mixing in, match coverage, being physical, pressing guys. So they took some things away from us, had to move around a little bit, and then there at the end of the game, obviously, had some keepers and then some sneaks along the way, and all that stuff kind of adds up. But yeah, it's a good defense. They've been a good defense for a long time. A lot of good players over there, well coached, you can tell. So there's times where you got to kind of use your legs. You thought I could have even done it more, to be honest, today on some of those third downs. We weren't as good as we want to be. Some sneaks along the way, and all that stuff kind of adds up. But yeah, it's a good defense. They've been a good defense for a long time. A lot of good players over there.
At you.
Well, to start, I told them this week, watch when I get the ball in my hands and see what happens. I got tackled, but it's all good. I gave us a short field on offense, and that's all that matters.
For you guys, for them to come in here, the Chargers being undefeated, for Justin Herbert to be playing as well as he has been, you guys were all over him today. What was the game plan to get him off his game?
It was just a mentality on the defense. We had to come in with an attitude, and we wanted to be bullies today, and put that product, not just talk about it, be about it, and we got the W.
I obviously want to give a big shout out to Russ. I know that this week probably wasn't the easiest thing, but he handled it like a professional and just was a mentor for me. So obviously just have a ton of respect for him, and it goes for Jameis as well, just getting me prepared for this week. I was just staring at the clock, just waiting for it to count down, but John Runyon was right next to me, and that was a cool moment to have with him, and it was just special to get the first one, and this is just a start.
That was a W in Jackson Dart's first start. Coach, I got to say, a lot of people, me included, were saying you're going to start him against the undefeated Chargers, and yet he still got the dub. How are the Giants able to get this done?
Well, a couple things. They ran the ball very well. He ran it good, too, as a runner at times when they use him. But don't lose sight of this. The Giants' defense played really well. Their front four got after the quarterback.
Yep.
And that had a lot to do with that momentum of the defense, the way they got after the quarterback. But you had things matter in a game when you're starting a young quarterback, and then your defense on top of it. Never let the score get away from him. It was always kind of a tight game, and they just let him play. He never had to worry about, I got to catch up. I can just play quarterback.
Yeah,
so it was an outstanding job by the Giants organization.
An outstanding job by Russell Wilson, too, supporting
Yes.
him all week despite being displaced as a starter. Kind of incredible there. Now, it's bittersweet news because we're still waiting to get word on the extent of Malik Neighbors' injury.
Yeah.
You got a rookie quarterback. Neighbors is their superstar. If he misses significant time, how does Dable ensure success for Dart without their big-time player?
Well, and this is what good teams do. When one of your star guys goes down, everybody else has to, add to the pie now.
Yeah.
And they'll find ways to get people the ball. I mean, they did a nice job today, I think, with handling the quarterback. He's a little bit of an emotional kid. You can tell, right? He's got a lot of energy, right?
He's fiery,
and which is good. And I think the Giant fans love that. But you got to calm him down some now. You just got to, hey, man, just, his first game, he's excited. Just think his rookie wins his first game in New York. That's pretty good.
I know. You're flying on cloud nine, but at some point, those clouds are going to come crashing down. But, hey, for now, it's fantastic, and congratulations to him and the Giants. Okay, more NFL.
We're here at Croke Park, first NFL game in Ireland.
Was it 95% Steelers?
That's what it looked like.
It looks like we have the best fans in the nation, excuse my language, I'm sorry, in the freaking nation. But I love them. Without them, it wouldn't feel like home. So when Renegades started playing and it was getting loud and crunk, we was getting loud and crunk with them. So, man, I love these fans. I love this team. I really do.
I loved it. I thought the crowd was fantastic. There's a lot of terrible towels there, but I felt like there was probably some good old Irish get in the mix too, waving those towels around a little bit. Yeah, it's the twilight of my career. I wouldn't say back end. I used to say 5, 6, 7 years ago I was on the back nine, but You know, I'm teeing off on 18 right now.
I'm feeling good, too. Jaguars visiting the 49ers. The undefeated 49ers coming in. Second quarter, Jags down 3-0. Travis Etienne takes the handoff, and he is out of here. 48 yards to the house. He struggled a bit last season, but it's like he's a different player now. Jags up 7-3. Third quarter, Niners down 17-6. Brock Purdy to Christian McCaffrey, who gets it done like he always does. They cut the deficit to 17-14 after a 2-point conversion. Third quarter, Jags get the punt. Parker Washington gets some burst. Can the kicker catch him? Kicker's not catching him.
No,
Is the kicker going to catch him? No. 87-yard return for Washington. And the Jaguars go on to win 26-21. Big win for them. All right, so the Jaguars forced 4 49er turnovers today, continuing their torrid pace of ball hawking. Jacksonville's 13 takeaways this season are the most through the first 4 games of a season in franchise history. Fred Warner from the 49ers not happy after this game. Check this out. And new on SportsCenter, Trevor Lawrence. Well, Fred Warner first, actually. Then we'll get to Trevor. Will Smith and the Raiders taking on the Bears. This one was a back-and-forth affair. Second quarter, Raiders up 7-6. Ashton Genty finds a hole and breaks free. Came in highly touted, and let me tell you, he's been not really struggling, just not having the season they thought. Look at that play right there, Coach.
Observation of this here, Gentry. He's really good.
Yeah. Raiders up 14-6. Fourth quarter, Bears down 5. And look at DeAndre Swift getting in. Yes. So Bears would attempt a 2, fail. 38 seconds left. Raiders lining up for 54 yards out, and it's blocked.
Oh, boy.
Yet another block kick. Unbelievable. The Bears escape with a 25-24 win.
Wow.
Another block kick. Man, this is just the greatest thing ever. Late block field goals are all the rage in the NFL this season. It's only week 4, and we've already had 3 in the final minute of regulation, including the Bears today. There were 3 in total all of last season. You know Ben Johnson's got to be thrilled over this one. And here he is speaking to the media. This is new on SportsCenter.
That game pretty clean. There really was nobody of note that didn't finish the game. We're in good shape there. Man, I'm proud of our guys. They came through for us. We're building something special here, and I think they're feeling it. Just the belief they have in each other, the belief they have in this coaching staff. I thought it really shone through. This was a huge win for our team. Finding a way in the fourth quarter to come out on top. I just thought that was outstanding for us. So proud of our guys, proud of the locker room. I know it's an ugly game at times. I thought I'd give a lot of credit to the Raiders. They played their tails off, which we knew they would. Coach Carroll's such a good coach, and they have so many good players on their side that it was going to be a dogfight. And they were desperate for a win, and we were desperate for a win as well. And, it came down right to the wire, just like we thought it might. And so, like I said, that's a huge character win for our team, and I just love it for them. Open it up.
For Josh Blackwell, as you've got to know him, what's it going to say about him to make that play?
Yeah, man, he came through for us right when we needed it, and I'm listening on the headset, and Coach Hightower, who does just such an incredible job with our special teams unit in all those phases, he's kind of narrating it in real time, and he's like, yeah, Blackwell's going to get this one for us. He's going to come through, and sure enough, it came to light just like he thought, and so. Man, I was so proud of him. He's a guy that not only is a key cog of what we do on special teams, but a key contributor there as a backup in our DB room, and that was huge for him.
You mentioned it was a sloppy game. Talk about some of the penalties and negative yardage. How did you kind of balance almost your own emotions and then obviously the team's emotions as you weathered all of that?
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to get frustrated, but we don't panic. We just don't. It's not who we are, and that's not what we do. And so, we have a 3-and-out to start the game, I believe, on offense, and defense comes through for us, and they end up with 4 turnovers on the day, and we're not able to capitalize on those turnovers to the extent that we'd like to. I could see where either side of the ball would get really frustrated. I could see where the defense would get frustrated with the offense, and the offense frustrated with ourselves. And, that didn't happen. Everybody stayed the course. No one panicked whatsoever. I thought we came in at halftime. We hit that reset button. That's what we talked about. Take a deep breath and let's come out and play 30 minutes and find a way to win.
And that they did. And on the other side, the Raiders, they found a way to lose. And Geno Smith, probably not too happy about it. Here he is, and this is New on SportsCenter.
Geno, you talked back in May about being brought in to lead this offense and efficiency and how this offense needs to run. And now you're leading the NFL in interceptions. What do you got to do to fix that?
Number one, take care of the ball, not throw interceptions. That's the simplest way I can put it to you. But, first of all, I owe it to my teammates, really, to go out there and play better. And I felt like we had a great week of practice. I felt like the process was there. I felt like, I was feeling good about what I was seeing. The game plan was great. Guys fought their tails off. Guys deserve to get this win, and I let those guys down. So there's a lot of things I'm going to have to fix within myself. That's the reality. And, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I got to be a lot better. And I am a lot better, but it hasn't showed up. The guy that I'm supposed to be hasn't showed up yet. And so, I take pride in, fixing this stuff.
Is it an anger right now, or a disappointment, or a frustration, or all of the above type of reaction to something like this?
Yeah, more so just anger. I know I got to be better, and for me as a player, like I said, man, I pride myself on my process and the way that I go about things, and there's some things that I got to do better. I mean, it's flat out, and it's in terms of my play on the field. I felt like I said, we had a great week of practice. Preparation was there. Guys were in. You saw how Ashton ran the ball today. You saw how the line played today. You saw how our guys were getting open and our defense played inspired. How our crowd was electric throughout the game. And if you look at the difference in the game, it was the turnovers. So simply put, I got to be better.
You brought up Ashton, so two-parter for you. Been waiting sort of for his time, right? And he talked about him getting the ball more, and now that balance is there, and he has that he has. If you can comment on that, and then second part, in terms of your turnovers, do you say anything to him afterwards? You have to feel bad. Obviously, he has a career day, sort of that breakout moment that we've been waiting on. Not sure if you had a chance to talk to him. Or if it's got to weigh on you as the veteran, right?
Yeah. Shoot, man, Ashton had a great day. Great player. He's the guy who we've always seen. Like I said, the outside, I've been in this thing long enough to know how it goes. And 1 week you're the best, 1 week you're the worst. It's just how how it goes. But the reality is that you stay within yourself and play your game. And, for him, he's only going to get better. Our team's only going to get better. Offense is only going to get better. And I'm for damn sure going to get better. What I'm saying? I ain't hanging my head about nothing. That's just not how I am. But I am frustrated. I am upset the way that, I turned the ball over and gave those guys chances and gave our defenses, short fields to play with, and they're playing like that. I'm putting us in tough situations over and over again. And like I said,
5, 6, 7 years ago, I was on the back nine, but I'm teeing off on 18 right now.
I'm feeling good too. Jaguars visiting the 49ers. The undefeated 49ers coming in. Second quarter, Jags down 3-0. Travis Etienne takes the handoff, and he is out of here. 48 yards to the house. He struggled a bit last season, but it's like he's a different player now. Jags up 7-3. Third quarter, Niners down 17-6. Brock Purdy to Christian McCaffrey, who gets it done like he always does. They cut the deficit to 17-14 after a two-point conversion. Third quarter, Jags get the punt. Parker Washington gets some burst. Can the kicker catch him? Kicker's not catching him.
No,
is the kicker going to catch him? No. 87-yard return for Washington. And the Jaguars go on to win 26-21. Big win for them. All right, so the Jaguars forced 4 49er turnovers today, continuing their torrid pace of ball hawking. Jacksonville's 13 takeaways this season are the most through the first 4 games of a season in franchise history. Fred Warner from the 49ers not happy after this game. Check this out. And new on SportsCenter, Trevor Lawrence. Well, Fred Warner first, actually. Then we'll get to Trevor.
Don't worry about it. At least here, not for the San Francisco 49ers. It wasn't in a safe place the entirety of this game. JJ, I'm looking at Brock Purdy's performance. I don't love it. He does cross the 300-yard threshold, but 2-2, another 2 turnovers. What do you make of what I'd constitute as a lackluster effort here from the 49ers.
Yeah, it was sloppy by Brock Purdy in his first game back since he suffered that turf toe injury a couple of weeks ago, so he looked a little rusty, right? We also have seen a Niners team that has not paid a great deal of attention to the details so far through the start of the season. They've been able to win despite of that, but we see today, especially missing Bosa, they didn't have a sack on the defensive side. They barely even pressured Trevor Lawrence. You know, if you pressure Trevor Lawrence, typically good things happen for your defense and bad things happen for the team located in Duval County. So in the absence of that, we saw a Jacksonville Jaguars team that they didn't have to do too much, right? Trevor Lawrence didn't have 300 yards today. They did enough to get a win on the road in San Francisco, and maybe they didn't even have to steal that many signs.
Yeah, JJ, the ball is everything. We talked about that earlier in this show, right? 4 turnovers, it's hard to win a game. Plus, you give up a special teams touchdown, even harder to win a game. But I'm going to harp on something that I've been harping on with the San Francisco 49ers all year long. And it's the lack of depth on the offensive line. Their offensive line has not been able to move anybody in the run game. We know with Kyle Shanahan, it's all about the run. It sets up their entire pass game because he mirrors it, right? Everything looks exactly the same. To be able to throw those in-breaking routes, we know Brock Purdy's really good when it comes to timing and throwing the football in the middle of the field. But it's hard to do that if you cannot establish the run game. And at times, Christian McCaffrey doesn't look as explosive. Now, he looked really good catching the ball out of the backfield, but they have not been able to run the game the first 4 weeks of the season, run the ball.
It's been fascinating to watch this from a draft perspective, right? Because when you look at how the Jaguars have drafted, we always say, oh, man, they had a really good draft, but can they come together? This was a different element for them because we saw how Jacksonville did a great job of using their length and athleticism. It was clear and evident. They created way more explosives than San Francisco in the run game. Travis Etienne had over 120 yards rushing, had a big long run down the sideline. You saw big chunk plays on defense created by them because of the length and athleticism up front. Even the plays we came into this highlight talking about was because they created so much problem and havoc within their front seven. San Francisco frontline starters can do that, but as you go deeper down that depth chart, which has been exposed today, they don't have those same guys that Jacksonville has. So when Jacksonville is coaching, those guys are playing great. Now we see all of that talent and depth to come together, and this is the type of outcome you expect from Jacksonville more so than just today.
You talk about the depth along the front lines. How about the depth for the San Francisco 49ers at pass catcher right now? Because Ricky Pearsall goes out with an injury. Juwan Jennings was dealing with an injury. We know that Brandon Ayuk is not going to return anytime soon because after he tore up his knee last year, John Lynch saying that he's not really close to returning. The 49ers are going to be without George Kittle for at least another game due to IR rules where you have to sit at least 4 games. So you look at what the Niners are doing. If Brock Purdy is not protecting the football and they aren't running the football, and because they can't because of what's up front, to whom are they throwing the football who's healthy right now?
A problem for the 49ers moving forward, but a theme that would be welcomed by Jacksonville. 9 turnovers the entirety of last season, already 13 in this young year. Let's take a look at those numbers. It's been a turnover of turnovers, if you will, a year over for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now 13 in their first 4 games, head and shoulders the most through 4 games.
What's that?
Breaking news here into CBS Sports HQ. The new AP Top 25 college football poll is out, and we saw 3 top 5 teams lose, which means we're going to have some changes here. And how about that? My eyes go straight to number 4, Ole Miss, up 9 spots. Ohio State still on top. Oregon up 4 spots to number 2. Miami 3. Look at that. We have a brand new top 2, 4, and 5. Also, Alabama sneaking into the top 10, up 7 spots. We go further down the poll here, a lot of movement. You see a lot of red, a lot of dropping. Georgia down 7 spots to 12. LSU down 9 to 13. Florida State, though, huge drop after being upset on the road Friday night at Virginia, down 10 spots to number 18. 5 more teams here on the AP Top 25 poll. We have some new entrants. Virginia, from the aforementioned upset victory over Florida State, moves into the top 25 at number 24, and Arizona State squeaking back in here at number 25. Let's welcome in Damian Harris, and joining us remotely, Brad Crawford. I'm Emily Proud, and I mentioned it, guys. 3 top 5 teams lose. We knew there was going to be a lot of shakeups at the top, but let's start with number 2. In Oregon. Is this the right spot for them? I think there's some people campaigning that they should be the #1 team over Ohio State.
I think that when you look at Ohio State and Oregon, they're pretty evenly matched, right? They haven't played a ton of competition. Oregon, they just won at Penn State last night, which is a tough environment. And Ohio State just won at Washington, which is another tough environment. So I think where we had Ohio State previously at #1, I think it's fair to keep them there. But Oregon, by no stretch of the imaginations, we can't sit here and pretend like this isn't one of the top 1 or 2 teams in all of college football. So I think they're evenly ranked. I think that it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're going to play each other. They're going to face each other. So it'll play out the way that it needs to in the end.
Yeah, despite Oregon beating Penn State on the road and having a top 5 win, one of the best signature wins of college football this season, I'm okay with Ohio State having the top spot. Damian mentioned, the season opening win over Texas. And let's not forget, the Buckeyes beat what could be an 8 or 9 win Washington team yesterday on the road and did it with defense, holding Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman, the Big Ten's best playmakers, outside of the end zone for 4 quarters. So Ohio State was equally impressive yesterday, like the Ducks, but I know primetime whiteout environment in Happy Valley, a lot of people like Oregon over Ohio State right now. I'm okay with the Buckeyes still being in that top spot.
Yeah, Dan Lanning's first win over a top 5 team on the road. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of him after the game, let out a yell. I mean, that was cathartic, and I'm pretty sure we would have seen it on the other side if James Franklin would have won that game. So speaking of, Penn State down to #7 in this top 25 poll. Brad, how much, wiggle room do they have as it pertains to the college football playoff? This was obviously a big loss, but...
Yeah, just a little bit of wiggle room. You would have liked to have seen Penn State win this home game against Oregon if you're an Nittany Lions fan, but there's 2 games left against ranked teams, Indiana and Ohio State. As long as the Nittany Lions split those games and finish with 10 wins, they're going to be a playoff team. Now, if they lose to the Hoosiers and the Buckeyes, finish 9-3, miss out on a chance at the Big Ten championship, then you start to worry about a 4th or 5th SEC team getting in, maybe a 2nd ACC team, even a 2nd Big 12 team. So if I'm Penn State and James Franklin right now, I am telling my players inside that locker room, all of our season goals are still out in front of us, fellas. We go to Ohio State and win, we're back on the right track. But you see there, James Franklin said it last night. He was asked, your struggles against top 25 competition, what do you have to say for it? And he said, look, it's factual. There's no changing the narrative until we do it. So, yeah, Penn State right now, 2 games left against ranked teams, and they've got to split both of those to guarantee a playoff appearance.
Yeah, Brad, where I disagree with you here is, and I shouldn't even say I'm disagreeing with you, but James Franklin has been telling his team this for a long time. Yeah. Everything is in front of us. We control our own destiny. If we just go out and perform, Drew Aller, if you can just complete the game for us, if we can go out and end the game in the win column, we'll be all right. Well, guess what? That still has not happened. And yes, they do still have a chance to make it to the college football playoffs. Yes, everything is still ahead of them, but we have to think, what is the confidence level for James Franklin, Drew Aller, and Penn State right now? Because year after year, sometimes week after week, we're having the same conversation about the same team. And let's not forget, who's their next biggest competition? Well, it's going to be Ohio State. Who do they never beat? Well, guess what? It's Ohio State. And now you're already paralysis by analysis, because you can't drop that one. And if you win that game, you can't drop the next one to a really good and talented Indiana football team. So yes, Penn State, you have a chance, but more importantly, do you have the confidence, especially coming off another big game loss, which is even worse because this time it was at home.
Yeah, I will point out that the numbers say, according to our Sportsline model, this was a college football playoff national championship preview, knowing that these 2 teams would play each other and one of them would take a loss. So as far as their college football playoff chances, not a whole lot changes after a loss yesterday for Penn State. But like you said, do you have confidence in them to win the big one when we have still yet to see it? I am asking you.
No.
No.
You know the answer. You're really proud.
All right,
me.
All right.
No.
Let's go to Florida State. I don't know about you guys, a little shocked by a 10-spot drop for them. Number 18, of course, still with that big win under their belt in week 1 against Alabama, setting up for a huge showdown against a top 5 team in Miami. Are we in must-win now mode for Florida State?
Well, I think so, because when you look at this team, the big caveat to their success is the defense. And when you look at them and you compare them to the best teams in the country, yes, Thomas Castellanos and the offense, they can get the job done, but who can they stop? Can they stop in Alabama? Can they stop a Georgia? Can they stop an Ohio State or an Oregon? Well, I can't confidently say that right now. And although the win week 1 against Alabama, that was the biggest win of the season at that point. But now it's starting to get less important whenever you lose games that you're supposed to win. People start to forget the big wins that you had that maybe you weren't supposed to.
I mean, you forget. I mean, this is definitely a must-win game for Florida State coming up against Miami, because a second ACC loss to the Canes means the Seminoles are not going to the ACC championship game unless Miami or the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech lose 3 games. We know that's not going to happen over the final 8 weeks of the season. So this was a toe stub, so to speak, for the Seminoles on the road against Virginia. You see there, Florida State heading into that game was around plus 500 or so, now at plus 950. So it's a narrative-setting loss for the Seminoles.